This is 1480 KRAE Cheyenne.
Also being heard on translator K266CC Cheyenne at 101.1 FM.
What you are about to hear is a sports talk radio show unlike any other that has ever before been broadcast in the capital city of Cheyenne, Wyoming, USA. This is Cheyenne, Wyoming's Sports Talk Authority. The Wyoming Cowboys, the Denver Broncos, the Colorado Rockies, and the Denver Nuggets. The show is local, it's regional, and yes, the show is national as well. Wyoming Sports Talk Today is on the air. If they're talking sports on the radio in Cheyenne, this is the place it happens. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
Wyoming Sports Talk Today on 1480 KRAE, being brought to you by Mars Plumbing and Heating at 1515 Logan Avenue. Mondello's Pizzeria, delicious Paisan cuisine, 7 days a week at 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D in the Greenway Commons. Directly across the street, it's First Tier Bank at 1508 Stillwater Avenue. Again, check with their special CD rates and great annual percentage yields going on right now at First Tier Bank. Lennox Auto Body, family-owned, family-operated, family tradition continuing on. Dick Lennox, the founder, now being run by daughter Heather, and doing a marvelous job with the Auto and Truck Repair Center over on Dunn Avenue and the Auto Glass and Detail Center on Pershing Boulevard. Medicap Pharmacy, for all your pharmaceutical needs with your doctor's prescription. Let Gene and his great staff take care of those medications for you. Explain those medications as well. And again, check out Medicap Pharmacy. They are your neighborhood pharmacy. Been around for a long, long time on Bluegrass Circle, next door to Texas Roadhouse. Platte Valley Bank ×2, banking the old-fashioned way, customer service, or modern technology taking over in the banking world these days. So check out what Platte Valley Bank offers at both locations on Vanda High and at the corner of College and Pershing. Platte Valley Bank ×2. Kia of Cheyenne, just a few of the 18s remain in the lot. So again, they're wheeling and dealing to move them out because more 19s are arriving. And again, you need to kick a few tires, take a test drive, and drive home in the Kia of your dreams today. See my good friends AJ and Greg Miller and the entire crew over at Kia of Cheyenne on Nation Way. Chick-fil-A, delicious chicken sandwiches, waffle fries. How about a vanilla shake to go with that? Or maybe some chicken tortilla soup still here for a limited time. They offer breakfast, they offer lunch, they offer dinner. 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday. Chick-fil-A, the corner of Windmill and Delrange, right across from Menards. Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service. You will find the best that Jayco has to offer. RVs, fifth wheels, travel trailers, all sale priced right now on the lot at Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service on Highway 30 in Cheyenne. And last but not least, we thank Taco John's of Cheyenne, where you'll find loaded potato olays, 6-pack and a pound. Hey, don't forget every Tuesday, it's Taco Tuesdays and many other goodies going on at Taco John's of Cheyenne. We get things underway with our scoreboard, and our scoreboard this afternoon is being brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne. Here's Nick Proetti.
Regarding games last night here on 1480 KRAE with LCCC, we'll start with the women as they got a victory over Western Wyoming by a final score of 79-68. And then right after that, the men got underway with Western Wyoming, the Mustangs, where they found themselves victorious LCCC as they defeated WWCC by a final score of 97-85. No NHL action for tonight, or at least for a few days, as they are on the NHL All-Star break for quite some time, or at least until next Monday. And then also, too, regarding programming here on 1480 KRAE coming up tomorrow, as we will be live, myself and Chris Polton, over at Story Gymnasium, Cheyenne East versus Cheyenne Central, both girls and boys basketball happening at least little interesting schedule change as we can't be in two places, as we do have JUCO basketball coming up on Saturday. So what's going to happen for tomorrow night's contest will not be on air, or at least on radio. Instead, we will do it just on the visual side for Periscope and YouTube. So, again, check that out on only the visual side, as what's going to happen is that you will be joining up in Gillette by yourself, at least across the way. Again, covering both the women and men of Gillette and LCCC on the road. Again, coming up this Saturday, as, again, can't be in two places at the same time. So, again, at least coverage of all four games coming up on at least this weekend. So for high school basketball, coming up tomorrow, again, live on Periscope and 1480 KRAE YouTube channel, it will be tentative schedule for 5:30. At least tip-off, again, does depend on that JV game that goes ahead. And again, boys will get underway about tentative schedule at 7 o'clock coming up tomorrow night. Again, live at Story Gym.
NBA scoreboard on tap for this evening. The Warriors will take on the Wizards at the Capital One Arena in D.C. Pelicans and the Thunder in the Chesapeake Energy Arena in OKC. Trailblazers Suns at the Talking Stick Resort Arena. Timberwolves and Lakers at Staples. That will be the late-night contest. Our scoreboard brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
This is the Pepsi that's got a date with your taste buds. We're talking 1,000 bubbles.
Doors open at 11 a.m. Super Bowl Sunday, and you have 5 hours to liquidate the store. Every ring, necklace, and watch. Everything must go. Discounts are so deep, Burry's is practically giving away the best jewelry for next to nothing. Burry Jewelers, 2206 Delrange.
Burry Jewelers' famous Super Bowl sale, 11 to 4 Super Bowl Sunday.
Be there. Be there. MHP is a certified public accounting and consulting firm located in Bow, Cheyenne, and Fort Collins, offering accounting, tax, and consulting services to businesses, not-for-profit, government, and individual clients. MHP takes pride in their commitment to providing close, personal attention to their clients. They also continue to invest time and resources in continuing education, state-of-the-art computer technology, and valuing their relationships with you. MHP is a proud supporter of local and UW athletics. MHP, 314 West 18th Street, or call 634-2151. There are a lot of things that can go wrong with your vehicle, and most of it is a minor problem. And John at Shine Auto Repair and Service knows the right way to get you back on track. So with temperatures heading south, now's the perfect time to winterize your car or truck. This can be done with a simple oil change, maybe a tune-up, checking the thermostat, brakes, and shocks. It's the little and important repairs that Cars has performed on all makes of vehicles now for over 25 years to keep you motoring along in any season. For an appointment, call 632-0498 or stop on by at 604 West Lincoln Way. Shine Auto Repair and Service, open Monday through Friday.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For today, it'll be mostly sunny with highs around 24 and winds out of the west at 10 to 15. For tonight, it'll be mostly cloudy with lows around 18 and winds out of the west at 10 to 20 miles per hour. On Friday, it'll be mostly sunny with highs around 35. And on Friday night, it'll be mostly cloudy with lows around 20.
Fat, lazy, and stupid is no way to conduct a sports talk radio show. We've thrown down the gauntlet, upped the stakes, and made it clear that when it comes to sports talk radio in Cheyenne, there's a new player in town. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's only here on AM 1480 KRAE.
Wyoming Sports Talk today. Don't forget, coming up in the 4 o'clock hour, it's our LCCC Coaches Show with the Lady Golden Eagles at 4 and the men's team coming up at 4:30. But right now we get a chance to chat with Cheyenne Central Lady Indians basketball head coach Glen Kirkbride on the eve of East Central 1. And this is a possibility where we could have East Central 4 if we go all the way, if we go the distance. And Glenn, first off, congratulations on the good start with the preseason and the opening weekend here in conference play.
Yeah, thank you very much. Those kids are really doing well for us right now. We're excited to see where they can take us here.
Coach, again, you've seen East Central up close and personal, and again, you've also seen it from afar. Tell us a little bit about the East Central phenomena that will be going on at Story Gym, the atmosphere. And I've called many games from the Story Gym floor, East Central, especially that first one. Again, correct me if I'm wrong, we'll be wearing special uniforms for that particular contest.
Yeah, I tell you, it's a pretty amazing deal. It really is. The atmosphere there is just electric, especially for a high school game. The crowds are big and it's loud. I can't even hear myself half the time, let alone the kids being able to hear me talk about what I want to do in the huddle. And so, but that's what makes it fun. That's the excitement that really drives sports. I think those rivalries are great. We are not actually wearing the special uniforms this time. It is the pink game. The proceeds will go towards breast cancer as it usually does. But the athletic directors have talked, and we're actually gonna just wear our regular uniforms here. There'll be some pink splashed in there, but gonna wear the regular uniforms.
Helps the announcers out, that's for sure. Anyway, Nick, go ahead.
So at least looking on this season so far for you, Coach Kirkbride, again, 12-1 overall, 2-0 in the quadrant play, as we mentioned. But just talk about what's led to the success so far in this season for the Lady Indians.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I say it again, the kids are doing great. We started out, expectations weren't as high. We lost all those seniors last year. We had 6 seniors that graduated. A number of times, 5 of those 6 started. And so expectations coming in weren't quite as high. We just had some new kids. We were going to start a kid or two that weren't even on the varsity squad last year. And they've just really excelled. They've picked up on what we've asked them to do. They've done everything we've wanted from them. And so that group has been pretty impressive to me in how they've come together. Every night, I've said it before, every night you don't exactly know where it's going to come from. We have a few that are consistently there, but we have a number of girls that can do it on any given night if they're trying to key on one. And so that's a real strength for us, I think.
You know, one of the things that you do in the preseason, and again, with mostly Cheyenne, Central, East, and now South, is you try to schedule those Colorado tournaments. And again, when you get a chance to play down, whether it's in Greeley or whatever the case may be, do you feel those are always good acid tests for your team right out of the box? Because, you know, in Colorado, they play a little more physical basketball. So do you get a good feel of your team after those kind of tournaments?
Yeah, you really do. It works great for us because the travel is way less than trying to play a tournament in Green River, for example. We can sleep in our own beds, travel back and forth, and not pay for those hotel rooms. But beyond that, the basketball is great. I mean, they have big schools down there. A couple of the schools we played against, we looked them up, had 1,900 kids in the high school. And that's bigger than what we do up here in Wyoming. And so for us to be able to see those big schools and play against them gives us a real good test of where we are at the start.
Well, you got a test coming up again tomorrow night at Story Gym where it's going to be the battle of number 2 versus number 3 in the state, with Central being the number 3 team and Cheyenne East being the number 2. Obviously, Glenn, you've seen plenty of Cheyenne East, the Lady Thunderbirds. You know what Coach Eric Whistling is going to do out there, but just give us a little scouting report for the Lady T-Birds of what do you anticipate to see from Cheyenne East coming up tomorrow night?
You know, they're real tough. I mean, they're well coached and they're so talented. Especially their star there, Kai Buell. She's just unbelievable. She lit us up last year when she was playing for Rock Springs, and she's just so talented and so heady. So we're really going to have to play well. I mean, I think they're going to come press us. That's kind of their game plan. A lot of times, if you watch them on film or watch them live, they really try to get the tempo up and pressure you. And so we're expecting a little bit of that and expecting a lot of Kai Buell. We'll just kind of see after that what happens. But they're very tough. I expect a tough game.
What's the difference in Coach Westling's team as opposed to facing Rusty Horsley's team? Again, Coach Westling on the bench with Coach Horsley for the last few years, but has Coach Westling initiated some different looks out there on the floor?
I think they've just kind of picked up where they left off. They do a few different things, but not a lot. He's picked up a few things from his sister, who's also a heck of a coach down there in Colorado, and I don't expect to see a whole lot different than what East has done in the past. I've said it before. They just kind of picked up where they left off, dialing up that pressure, maybe even a little more under Eric. But for the most part, I think they do a lot of things pretty close to what they've done in the past, it seems to me. We'll learn more tomorrow.
As you look at the quadrant system this year, and again, we kind of just roll our eyes because it's everybody the same except for like Casper and Natrona. That's part of the quadrant. But your thoughts on it for this basketball season?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, it's still playing out. I don't. Those guys above my pay grade, they make some changes from time to time that you never know how it's going to work out until it's done. I don't mind it. It's fine. I think I kind of like, me personally, playing those Gillette schools, those North schools a couple of times a year. Good friend of mine was a coach for a long time here in the state, and he always said it helped him to play those schools. It makes you better. It kind of shows you where you need to be in the state to compete. And so I kind of wish we wouldn't have done it, but the truth is, it's fine. We're just excited to be there and playing basketball. These kids, they just want to play.
Glen Kirkbride joining us here, Cheyenne's Lady Indians basketball, Central Lady Indians basketball coach. I didn't mean to cut you off there, Coach. Real quick, we kind of are confused a little bit. We know, but we're not sure. Explain the new double elimination playoffs. I know we're weeks away from that, but explain how that's going to pan out here at Story Gym when the regionals come to town.
Yeah, I tell you, we did some of that when I coached at Burns. I coached at Burns for a number of years there at the 2A level, and we did some of that. The truth is, you have to win. You have to win 2 to get to that state tournament. You just have to win 2 along there, and you get 2 losses. And so there will be some early morning games that are really worth a lot come Saturday morning to try to get there. And so it adds a whole nother element to have another game, but maybe gives you another opportunity also. If somebody slips up early, it gives you another opportunity.
Final thought for me, Coach Kirkbride, is something that we haven't addressed with you yet, but familiar face that's a part of your team. That was a new addition to your team this, at least, off-season, coming from the ranks of LCCC, from the Lady Golden Eagles to now your team. One, Markel Dent, being a part of that assistant coach crew that you have over there. Markel Dent, again, a Wyoming Cowgirl alum. She brings a lot of basketball knowledge, but what benefits has she brought to being a part of your staff this season?
Yeah, I'll tell you, a number of the things she did at UW, we try to do here. Obviously, we're on a lower level than them, but we try to do a number of the things that they did. She's got real intimate knowledge of breakdown drills. She is phenomenal at player development. She's been a huge asset to us. That was a big pickup, and I kind of lucked into it, frankly. And so we've really enjoyed having her be a part of it.
Coach, we wish you all the best. East Central tomorrow night, always a classic at Story Gym. It doesn't matter. Again, we always use the terminology just throughout the record books because when East Central gets together, it's usually Donnybrook, and the ladies always get to start things off, and a big crowd will be there cheering both of the schools on. So good luck to you tomorrow evening, Coach.
Thank you very much. We're really excited about it.
All righty. Glen Kirkbride, Central Lady Indians in basketball head coach, joining us on our Wyoming Sports Talk Today program. We are going to take a time out. We're going to be back with more after these words here on 1480 KRAE.
You can actually get something good for your health at a drive-through window. When you order your next prescription from Medicap Pharmacy, call ahead and use our drive-through window. Or you can call for free delivery. You can even log on to Medicap.com and order a prescription refill. Your Medicap pharmacist will call you to make arrangements for pickup or delivery.
Medicap Pharmacy will always make time for you. Medicap Pharmacy, 1947 Bluegrass Circle, next to Texas Roadhouse in Cheyenne. Or call 635-3712.
It's said that membership has its rewards, and at First Education Federal Credit Union, that is especially true. At First Education, members are the owners and get lower loan rates, higher yields on deposits, full online services including a mobile app, and more. We are personalized banking your way, local and a member of the Cheyenne community since 1947. Call 432-7400, go to firstedfcu.com, or visit in person at 120 West Carlson Street. Membership eligibility required, federally insured by NCUA.
Did you know that the Department of Defense selected High West Energy to provide electricity on the F.E. Warren Air Force Base to its residents and critical infrastructure? High West Energy has been around for 75 years, providing low-cost, reliable service to residents of Laramie County. As an electric co-op, we are owned by our customers, who share in the profits. They have a voice in ensuring that we maintain high standards while keeping electricity costs low, keeping energy affordable for 75 years. HighWestEnergy.com.
A Touchstone Energy partner.
Feeling that cool Wyoming breeze in the early morning? So now's the time to make sure your furnace is in good repair. And Marv's Plumbing Heating, 1515 Logan Avenue is the place to go. Marv's trained technicians can inspect, repair, and replace your furnace and boiler and are available 24/7. Freezing temperatures in Wyoming can happen at any time. No one wants to shiver in their own home. Don't get the chills. Stay cozy. Call Marv's Plumbing and Heating at 316-7634 today.
We're taking Cheyenne, Wyoming Sports Talk Radio to a whole new level. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
Don't look at me. I think these people are completely nuts.
Stop this crazy thing! And it's only here on AM 1480 KRAE.
Larry Proetti, Nick Proetti, we are here with you on Wyoming Sports Talk today after doing a double dip of hoop action last night at LCCC. It will be our coaches show. Coming up at 4 p.m., we will start things off with Brian Ortmeier. He will come in and chat about really a very successful homestand that the Lady Golden Eagles have had before they embark on the road. First of two, as they will be headed up to the Razor City for Saturday's contest, and then next week they will be in Powell as they will turn around and play the second round, so to speak, of conference play. I know they haven't played Eastern yet, but they'll get a look at everybody but Eastern here, including Gillette coming up on Saturday.
But along with Brian Ortmeier, he will bring a player as well too.
Ariel Stephenson,
guard Ariel Stephenson will join us. Then after that, we will have the men come in. At least Jason Ficca is tentative. He will be on the road, however, so we will hear via phone as he is down in Denver, Colorado for today. So, but again, we will get a full, at least, action of LCCC on the Coaches Show again coming up at 4 o'clock today here on Wyoming Sports Talk today again. For both the men and women of what we saw last night, two good efforts, two victories, two must or at least good wins for both LCCC as they embark, at least now prepared for the kind of tough part of the schedule of a lot of road contests coming up. Where again a lot this weekend going up to Gillette to see the Pronghorns, Lady Pronghorns. For Wednesday to go see Northwest. Again, a lot of traveling coming up here, at least the tail end of January and February for both LCCC squads. So, again, homestand, very successful. Be interested to kind of pick their thoughts, both head coaches, of what their thoughts are from last night to also too coming up this weekend.
So we'll have that coming up for you in the 4 o'clock hour again. As we were talking with Coach Ficca last night, correct me if I'm wrong, I think he's going down to some basketball tournament action, doing a little
seeing high school basketball
scouting.
Denver, especially again where you've had a few recruits from the Denver area. Would that be again with a Courtney Dean, with also too again outside with a Cameron Vincel? So again, at least a lot of pickings, at least of recent teams for Coach Jason Ficca. So again, we'll be in the Mile High City, taking a look at the future classes for LCCC and the Golden Eagles.
All right, we'll talk basketball more at length with LCCC coming up here at 4 o'clock. Cowboys and Cowgirls both picking up wins last night. Cowgirls picking up their win on the road as they down the Lady Spartans of San Jose State, which they should have.
Yeah, no surprise there.
Yeah,
even
they went 70-56. The Cowgirls been experiencing some shooting difficulties as of late, but seemed to put it together last night as they improved to 10-5 overall, 3-3 in the Mountain West Conference. Of course, we didn't bring you that score last night. All we had was just the men's score. And the men at the Arena Auditorium. And
they pulled off, finally, the victory. Something that I mentioned on at least the halftime score between the two was tied at a point, at least 24 all between San Jose State and Wyoming there at the AA. So, again, a team that is one win better. That would be the Wyoming Cowboys, tied with San Jose State at home. It wasn't looking like it was going to get any pretty, at least, note from that game, as Justin James did play in that game, and I think that's what he, at least with him being on the court, kind of at least helped out the Cowboys absolutely pick up their first Mountain West Conference win, again, last night in front of a quote-unquote big crowd there at the AA.
The crowd was announced at 5787. That's tickets that were sold. Butts and seats, I can't tell you.
Yeah, that counts our tickets. That counts, again, of just in total. And I think that also, too, was the 2,000 that were granted out, or at least given out for free to that contest as well. But from the photos and from the visual side, it was not 5,000. It was not a big crowd as much as the social medias for the University of Wyoming across Facebook or Twitter trying to push that across. No one really showed up for that. And again, for a multitude of reasons, I think obviously the main one is, again, two teams that are dead last in the Mountain West. Fans don't want to travel on a Wednesday night where roads were already iffy. Saw earlier this morning, again, we did have a fresh blanket of snow, so that might have played into factors last night of weather. But right now, it's a terrible season. Hey, it's a great win for the Cowboys. Does that mean that there's more to come for the Cowboys? No, not at all. Right now, that was a team you should beat, and that's probably the only team you're going to beat this year.
Yeah, with that win last night, the Cowboys improved to 5-14 overall. They're 1-5 in the Mountain West Conference. Hunter Thompson, Pine Bluff's product, pumped in 12 of his 14 points in the second half. He was one of the difference makers, as Nick mentioned, too, with Justin James. Of course, Justin James has been carrying this team on his back all season long. And, again, we were hoping that the knee injury he sustained at the pit wasn't that bad. We didn't get much information on it and was glad to see that he was back on the floor, scoring a game-high 20 points. You know, with the Cowboys winning last night, and you made the comment, how many more wins will they get? Well, they'll get San Jose State at San Jose.
You'd like to think so.
Again,
on the road, that comes up in early March, at least March 6th. So quite some time to see the Spartans once again. But is this momentum enough for the Cowboys after finally getting over the kind of hill, essentially, or at least getting over the cusp of, hey, you picked up your first Mountain West Conference win? I don't think so, especially we're coming up, at least this weekend. They'll be on the road at Boise State. The Broncos, not the team that I anticipated in the Mountain West, not one of the elites, but they are still competitive. I still think on paper they're a more talented team than what Wyoming's got on the floor right now at this point. But right now, as you look, at least for the remaining part, as we are pretty much halfway done through the Mountain West Conference for both the Cowboys and Cowgirls, at Boise, home for Fresno State, at Air Force. CSU has been playing well, and again, that's always a great, at least rivalry game. Again, that will be at Laramie, Wyoming, at Utah State, home for Nevada, home for UNLV, CSU, or at CSU, at Fresno State, home for Air Force, and again, at San Jose State. Other than San Jose State, I don't see one more victory on that slate. And again, you could probably give an argument for Air Force, but Air Force has been competitive. We saw them in recent Mountain West games.
They're tough at Clune Arena, so I don't even know why we're even having that discussion. I mean, they are good at home.
And not even at Colorado Springs, but again, even on the road, they've been competitive. They've been within these games, whether it is been against New Mexico, San Diego State. They've tried. They've competed a lot more respectable than what Wyoming has done. So I don't give Wyoming I'll give them a fighting chance, but do I anticipate that they'll defeat Air Force one out of the two? No, I really don't.
Well, Air Force is going to do what they often do, is take you out of your game. They slow you down. They're a very deliberate outfit. So, again, the transition part of your game, because they like to play half court on you. So I think at Clune Arena, the Cowboys will have problems. Maybe in the Arena Auditorium, they might do okay. I see for the Cowboys, maybe, and I'm saying this just really maybe 2 more wins this season. And I will give maybe a split with Air Force. And then I'm looking at, San Jose. That's the iffy one that they might win in the South Bay area.
You never know with the rivalry game with CSU. That can always have some stakes. Again, we've seen terrible CSU teams come and shock Wyoming teams of past, whether it's in Laramie or down at Moby. As much as I want to say, Rams should take care of it, especially with Nico Cavarcho down there. Again, what he's kind of been a superstar for the Rams at this point. Right now, CSU, you want to go half and half on that because, again, it is a rivalry. It does get heated. And anything can happen during that. Again, the border war, which, again, we'll see CSU twice here in the second half of the Mountain West Conference schedule. But at this point, 2 wins. I think that's being very friendly for the Wyoming Cowboys. Again, I think at San Jose that should be a win in favor of Wyoming. But, again, the Air Force, I give credit to the Falcons. They've been very competitive of what I've seen.
3-4 in conference play.
Yeah, again, but again, that 3-4, though, they've had very close games with top teams of the Mountain West, whether it is New Mexico or San Diego State. So right now, enjoy it for now. Don't anticipate more to come, or at least in bunches, essentially, for the Wyoming Cowboys.
Air Force beat Boise on Tuesday, 74-60. UNLV beat New Mexico, 74-58. So what I'm throwing are some correlations out there. Boise's already got a win against the Cowboys. Air Force beat Boise State.
Well, Boise beat Wyoming here in Laramie. Now for the Cowboys, got to go on the road to Boise, Idaho, and they've struggled.
Fresno State beat San Diego State.
Yeah.
We still got Fresno on the schedule. So, Colorado State got clobbered by Nevada last night, 100-60.
That's to be anticipated.
Yeah, but I'm just kind of like, CSU, I don't know. I mean, they are an enigma. The Cowboys are not an enigma. They're just not good. And
again, that's a clear consensus across the state, across, again, the Mountain West Conference, that this is that enigma season of just how bad it has gotten for the Wyoming Cowboys. Right now it is. I think the main theme of, instead of focusing on what's remaining on the Cowboys' schedule, as that's pretty much a complete joke at this point in time for Wyoming, the biggest question right now for this team is, can they climb out of this next season? Can this team rebound and put on, or at least get back to that 20-win mark under Coach Allen Edwards? I think that's the questions we need to start asking. How many wins
are going to be sophomores next year?
I get that, again, but they will be a year older, year wiser, and again, getting that quote-unquote varsity time playing for the Cowboys. You wonder if it translates to next season. I think that's the question we have to ask for this team is, what will they be like next year? Because, again, 2 wins, 1 win, 3 wins, how many they get? Again, this is a team that's not going to change fortunes around here. They're not going to do anything in the Mountain West tournament. It's a wash this season. Right now we need to focus on, or at least, and I think that's how the fan support is focusing on, is 2019-2020 Cowboy basketball, of what this team's going to be like next year.
Well, and again, obviously we don't have the Fab Five like Steve Fisher had at Michigan. And again, whoever we put on the floor next year, again,
you'll get a healthy Maldonado, and he's going to have to replace, or at least he's got the talent level of
veteran.
He's going to be your Justin James of next year, because, again, you will lose Justin James.
But he's oft injured.
That is certainly an issue. But, again, with Maldonado, he will be back after he redshirted medically this season. Again, Hunter Thompson getting significant time. He can be a good talent, but will it translate over? Again, having this, varsity experience now playing with a big club, is it going to translate to next year of, all right, it prepared, and he's going to go off and have, or at least be a compliment to a Hunter Maldonado for this team? And we'll see. Again, I think that's right now the main focus of Cowboy basketball.
Well, and again, if Coach Edwards stays with his present philosophy, again, when he has, I think, a couple scholarships available for this year, and he goes the high school route, good for him. You and me, again, saw talent on the floor last night. Maybe not the best out of Western Wyoming.
I think, again, you could use a big body like an Agu down in the middle that Western Wyoming had. Again, he is a big frame. We have plenty of those big frames that Wyoming is definitely missing to at least get inside on these teams, be aggressive.
We seem to get the real gangly type guys to come to UW.
Well, again, we've seen the bigs. And
They're
again,
lean and hungry.
Yeah, but again, Agu, who is a wide body frame, and again, saw what he did last night just kind of by himself trying to carry that Mustangs team, forcing him way on the inside. Again, getting past the 7-foot David Applegren, at least pushing through Stephon Manzi, pushing through one Hayden Collier. Again, he was a one-man wrecking crew. It's something that Coach Allen Edwards, you would hope, would take a look. Again, you can even do it within this state right now of the talent that is with the JUCO products, and hopefully that is something that Coach Allen Edwards realizes that he still has a young team, but maybe it's time to at least complement them with a little veteran leadership, or at least personnel that have been through the college ranks, or at least competed on a collegiate level, so to speak.
Well, and you look at the night that Tyrese Patoma had. Again, he may not be D1 size.
Cowboys who love to shoot the three. Here's a guy, again, 45 miles away, kind of like what we said last year with Talferro. You have a guy who can shoot from unconsciously from anywhere on the court right now. Yes, he might be a little undersized, but he's that Zaire Mateen. He is that quick strike offense. He can hit from anywhere. He is a guy who could be a Justin James-like of carrying your team. Again, that would be for one Tyrese Patoma. But will they give him a shot? Will they say he's undersized? Who knows at this point?
Yeah, nobody knows what the thinking is over there. But obviously, the one consistent of the thinking is we're going after 5 for 4 kids. And that's the way that philosophy has been in place now for about the last 5 years.
If that philosophy continues over, and again, if next season,
if next season is like this season,
if next season is like this, at least this year, I think it's a serious question to ask of, is this 4 for 5 option, or at least this philosophy that Coach Allen Edwards is putting on this team, is it the right direction for the Wyoming Cowboys? But again, that's all hypothetical. That's what we'll have to see coming up in 2019, 2020. This one, and again, all those who are trying to call for his head, trying to get him fired, I think me and you are on agreement, is you got to back off this season. There were a lot of enigmas, a lot of injuries that are out of your hands. This season is a complete wash, and you just you put it in your past. But at this point in time, though, right now, I think it's kind of like what we're seeing with the Cheyenne Stampede of, all right, we'll let this one slide, but the next season, if we don't see improvements, things need to change.
Well, yeah, absolutely. If we go through a season similar to this next year, I would hope we don't. But again, it's like we have that superstar player, and we got to replace those points. And right now, you look down the list, Hunter Maldonado's good. I don't think he's of the Justin James caliber. So you need some of the younger guys like Young or Thompson to step up on a more consistent basis.
And Trace Young is trying to now.
What I'm saying is, if the Cowboys pull in with a record like this at this time next year, I guarantee you, Coach Edwards will be adios at the end of the year.
He would have to be at this point.
And again, I can't stress it enough to Coach Edwards. I may be the armchair coach here, and I've already been called out on that one time before. Mm-hmm. But you know what? I proved right. I was proven right.
Well, so far for 2018, 2019 seasons for both, again, your major sports over there, again, with the Cowboys, football and Cowboy basketball right now, I think both head coaches headed into, at least you're forgiven this season with all the injuries and everything to both of your teams. It's 2019 of that's going to be deciding of if you still play down to your expectations, play again around that 6-6 football, or again how bad it has been for the Wyoming Cowboy basketball. I think it's time to seriously look over there again, the administration for the University of Wyoming, to say maybe this is not the great direction that we want. And again,
and it might be a change in administration,
possibly,
because again, you're talking about fans that are not showing up.
Fans are just again they're saying not worth it.
And again, where that's going to be felt at is going to be not so much with the television revenue, but it's going to be felt in the stadiums or in the arena when you have a lot of empty seats. And again, you and I don't have to be rocket scientists. If they say it seats 15,000 people, and there's not even a third of that building full.
And there was.
And you're telling me there's 5,700 people there. I'm going to call you a liar.
And I did online, where again their social media saying, hey, it was a big crowd. Again, they posted a picture of where vast seats open.
It was one of their better crowds. Yes, there was one of their better crowds, but it wasn't 6,000 people in that building last.
Do not lie to us about saying those inflated numbers. There was no way at all. And again, it's an interesting situation that the University of Wyoming is in, especially with these athletic programs where you don't have to compete with any in the state. It's only one university. Again, the mantra of one team, one state, one university. You have nothing else to compete like for, again, Colorado, where you can go from a CU to a CSU to Air Force, UNC. You have all those choices. Here it's just Laramie. It's just the University of Wyoming. And when those diehard fans are not interested, not even showing up for your games at this point, it's a serious situation right now.
But you go back to last night where they say 5,700 people were there. And again, 2,000 seats were purchased here locally.
Free.
By More Brown. Okay?
Yeah, give it away for free.
Again, those tickets were already counted.
Yeah.
Those were purchased. Okay? You had to go there to get the ticket. And all you do is you give them the ticket. You know, when you went to the will call and you sat down wherever they put you at in the arena. So that was,
and again, they're not bad seats of what we have with our ticket vouchers. Is what you do is you go up and they give you the best available seat,
which is everywhere.
Yeah, which is pretty much, again, you could get damn near at least courtside at the AA.
But what I'm saying is, though, those are already tabulated in also with the season ticket holders, also with the students.
Yeah.
So again, those were actual bought tickets.
Not actual people, not bodies.
Actual butts sitting in seats last night. And again, if anybody's going to try to sell you those goods that there was 5,700 people in there last night,
and again, I don't blame the University of Wyoming. We see that in pros, again, where, for instance, again, that 49er Broncos game, as they said, that was 100% full at Santa Clara. There was no way. I saw so many open seats, but they're still going to say, all right, let's count all this. It's not a University of Wyoming thing, not to pick on them, but, again, to at least alter people's minds here, or at least give them kind of the real truth, essentially, of saying there was not that many people there. That 2,000, yes, it was a great gesture. Hey, it was phenomenal what Maury Brown did. Again, kindness of his heart, so to speak. But those numbers, though, that estimated amount is unfair to at least of what is the reality going on right now at the AA. And it's a dire situation. Again, fans are just basically turning their backs on this program for the Wyoming Cowboy basketball. You can even say that for football. How many times we see it dwindle throughout the season of where fans just did not care. They're not wasting money on the gas. They're not wasting money on the tickets. They're saying, hey, I'm going to use this money to better things right now, to entertain myself, my family, whoever at this point in time.
Well, you saw the prices of the football tickets.
They're extreme.
And again, a family of four.
Not extreme in
Well, no, but a family
NFL,
of four going to Cheyenne, that's a $400 ticket to see Washington State.
Yeah, for Washington State, where, again, those tickets were about, even for our giveaway tickets, about $125 per. So, again, for a family of four to do that, gas from wherever, again, Cheyenne, Casper, throughout the state,
pennants, whatever you grab, again, it turns into a $500-$600 bill.
It's not cheap to watch at least, again, the local team get their brains beat out and lose again.
And same thing, too, on basketball. Even if the tickets are $20, okay, still, 3 or 4 of us going over there. And, again, it's not being cheap or anything.
No.
But it's like, hey, to go over and watch a product that's not really good, I don't want to waste $20.
How about my $60 goes down to go see the Nuggets, who are successful right now, or see the Colorado Avalanche, or I can go see CSU activities, UNC, anything like that, or again support, the Cheyenne Stampede, whatever it may be. I think right now that's what folks are realizing of, hey, there's better things to spend my money on than 2 dying programs, or at least 2 rough seasons that football and basketball has put on here in 2018, 2019. And that's the harsh reality. And right now, I think with AD Tom Berman, again, a lot of that staff over there, it's something that, yes, he's talked to us about. He realizes it, but they need to address very quickly.
And will they? We don't know.
Don't know.
We'll have to wait. I want to go back real quick here before we go to the break. I know we're getting close to it or past it. But CSU Nevada last night, and to the Rams' credit, and that was played in Reno last night, the Rams at halftime only trailed by 7. But in the second half, they got clobbered 58-25 by losing 40 points.
Essentially what we saw in Scottsbluff with LCCC of keeping it competitive for the entire half, but kind of gassed themselves out.
They gassed themselves out early in the second half against Nevada. And again, the Wolfpack, are they a great team? Absolutely.
They are deserving of the top
Rams a competitive team? Not against the likes of the Wolfpack. Will they be competitive against the likes of a UW? Absolutely.
No, there's no doubt about it. Are they competitive against the upper tier teams? Again, a San Diego State, UNLV in the Mountain West. I would pause on that as well, too. I still think CSU at this point is a mid-tier, or at least a mid-level Mountain West team, but absolutely, they could take care of the Cowboys. There's no doubt about it. Can they compete with UNLV, San Diego State? I would say yes. Do they win those games, at least in Las Vegas, or taking on a Running Rebels team there in Fort Collins? I don't think so. It would be hard for me to believe, but I think they take care of Air Force. They take care of UW. They take care of San Jose State. They take care of the teams that they need to.
I say no. I say maybe there's two, possibly. At most two on the outside, 3 wins left from this Cowboys program. They're going to have under 10 wins this season.
No, and I think that's absolutely – that is again another harsh reality. I think that's absolutely true. I would stick with that. Again, they're well below expectations. Again, a team that was anticipated to finish 7th in the Mountain West, they're anticipated to finish again near dead last, if not kind of where they are right now, 10th place in the Mountain West Conference.
All right, we're going to take a time out. We'll be back with more Wyoming Sports Talk today after these words.
Hello, this is Pastor Nathaniel Ensley with Blessed Hope Baptist Church in Burns, Wyoming, and I would like to invite you to listen to our weekly broadcast entitled Hope for Today, right here on 1480 KRAE, every Wednesday morning at 7 a.m. Our goal during each broadcast is to bring you a simple and short Bible truth that will be a help to you. Sure hope you can tune in. God bless you.
You love the Lennox difference, from collision repair to minor nicks and dents. Certified quality you can trust. Nobody cares about your car more than us. Lennox Auto Body, we do what we say. We fix it right and get you on your way. No shortcuts, no compromise. Lennox Auto Body. No shortcuts, no compromise.
Lennox Auto Body at 1020 Dunn Avenue and the Detail Center at 617 East Pershing Boulevard, Cheyenne. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
In life, you question everything. The same should be true when it comes to managing your wealth. What are your investment recommendations based on? How much are you paying in fees? And how can those fees impact your returns? Charles Schwab encourages investors to get engaged and ask tough questions. To learn more, call the Schwab Cheyenne branch at 307-459-0998 or visit schwab.com/Cheyenne. Charles Schwab & Company, Incorporated. Member SIPC.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For today, it'll be mostly sunny with highs around 24 and winds out of the west at 10 to 15. For tonight, it'll be mostly cloudy with lows around 18 and winds out of the west at 10 to 20 miles per hour. On Friday, it'll be mostly sunny with highs around 35. And on Friday night, it'll be mostly cloudy with lows around 20.
You bleed brown and gold? So do we. Wyoming Cowboys football and basketball is always front and center on this show. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's here on AM 1480 KRAE.
Back on Wyoming Sports Talk today, Larry Proetti along with Nick Proetti as we are here doing the program. The Hall of Fame, we didn't get a chance yesterday because we were doing basketball times 2.
Well, we weren't able to do it on Tuesday because again, those numbers didn't come in until way late.
Yeah, but we didn't get a chance to discuss it yesterday. Yeah. So at least one thing came out right. Mariano Rivera, first player ever to receive unanimous voting by the baseball writers.
And I think that's fair.
You know,
again, probably one of the best closers of all time. Probably will be for, again, probably the entirety of baseball. Absolutely. I think, again, the unanimous decision for him was a no-brainer.
You know, I didn't really have a problem with Halladay.
No, I think that was fair.
Mike Mussina kind of slid in under the radar. Okay.
Yeah.
But Edgar Martinez, and again, this was the big sell job. And again, here's the next one that's going to be going in. There's Larry Walker.
He went up in his numbers as well too. Again, Edgar Martinez, I don't see him as a Hall of Famer. They were comparing him again, saying is he questionably the greatest, at least designated hitter in all of Major League Baseball? I don't think so. In my personal opinion, especially seeing some of the numbers that he put up. Again, great numbers, but was it Hall of Fame material? I don't think so. I think that's where the difference of what we saw of Barry Bonds, where he did not get voted in. Again, still kind of sat at that 60%, or actually 59
with Clemens.
Yeah, so again, did not really move a whole lot, but I think it speaks volumes of where it. Edgar Martinez, a very good image for Major League Baseball.
It was his 10th year, and they brought him, finally into the fold, being a Hall of Famer. You know, again, if his numbers are Hall of Fame worthy, and again, he's down on the list here. He was third of the first-timers, and that was Todd Helton. He drew, correct me if I'm wrong, 16% of the vote.
Yeah, Todd Helton got it.
And matter of fact, I was watching the Major League Baseball Network yesterday, and one of the writers feels he should get in. Now,
Todd Helton?
It won't be within.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Again, it won't be next year. I think it's going to be not a slow climb, but eventually I give it about 2 or 3 years from now where Todd Helton is a Hall of Famer. I'm not going to say that he's not. He eventually will get in. I don't think it'll take as long as an Edgar Martinez, but again, it's something that these baseball writers have to eventually warm up and going, okay, I respected Todd Helton, or I eliminate that Coors Field factor that is kind of playing right now for Todd Helton. But right now, again, Edgar Martinez, was it almost a kind of good showing by the writers or at least these voters of going, you know, we like you, you're a kind guy, you're always a good face for MLB. All right, let's just give it to you.
The guy had 2,200 career hits.
Not bad.
Todd Helton has 2,600 career hits in his lifetime.
I'm just saying, it's nothing phenomenal, but, you know, not a bad career.
He had 309 home runs. Like, okay, great. Yeah. You know, I mean, he had okay numbers. Now, again, it's the sell job. And I don't know who's behind the PR for these guys, and that's great.
And I think the PR and what you saw, especially on social media for Edgar Martinez, was more so of the franchise of one Seattle Mariners. Again, a few other, at least AL West teams were kind of pushing the charge to get Edgar Martinez in. I noticed the Oakland A's were trying to help out the Seattle Mariners. Again, this is all a social media presence, and I think not so much of pressure, but it was the backing of, hey, these franchises are going, hey, let's help our guy get in right now. Let's kind of sway you in that way to say, yes, he is a Hall of Famer.
You know, and you look at already for next year, and again, is there an argument made for one Larry Walker? Yes, there is an argument made. One of the best baseball players ever in Montreal.
Yeah.
Had a great career with the Colorado Rockies.
He would be the first ever Canadian Hall of Famer, right?
And then again, kind of towards the end of his career, as he went to St. Louis, okay numbers.
It was nothing great.
But nothing great. So the bulk of his numbers, his good numbers, came in Colorado.
Colorado, yeah.
So should he be punished for that?
No, I think he is getting punished, though, of something we talked with Pat Graham last year around this time. Again, something that has also kind of brought up another outcry this season of why Larry Walker is still not a Hall of Famer, but again, Larry Walker, Todd Helton, they're both in that same level, that same class right now of you're going to get hurt by just playing at Coors Field for a majority, or at least a good amount of your career, especially for Todd Helton, his entire career. I think that does knock against these players, and it certainly showed. I think for Todd Helton, especially as you mentioned, 16%, I was not anticipating that. I figured Todd Helton out of the gates, maybe a third, getting 33, somewhere in there, or at least a little higher than the numbers. I felt like Todd Helton got completely kind of disrespected by the voters at this point in time.
And he had total hits, 2,500 hits in his career.
But granted, Todd Helton's also, too, well behind a big line in front of him, or at least a big grouping ahead of him, which, again, is led by Larry Walker, which is led by Barry Bonds, which is led by Roger Clemens. Again, a lot of, or at least
Fred McGriff, Manny Ramirez. You go right down.
Big names that are yet to get in the Hall of Fame. And again, big names are also, too, getting a lot of outcry of why they are still not in the Hall of Fame at this point in time, including one Barry Bonds, where, again, a lot of folks have been very vocal about it, saying, hey, this is unacceptable. He needs to be in. You guys need to get over it and just get him in.
Well, and then I was looking at the class of 2020, and one of the names, and they were talking about it yesterday, they were trying to make the push for him already, was Bobby Abreu. It was like, good athlete, good baseball player.
Hall of Famer, not really.
No.
I don't think so.
Definitely not Hall of Fame numbers, but, we'll see what happens. Clemens and Bonds, with their numbers, and again, you got to have 75%.
Yeah.
To be enshrined in the Hall.
And again, their
They're
numbers
16% away.
Yeah, again, their numbers kind of just slowly crept up. It wasn't not a noticeable change like, for instance, again, Larry Walker, who kind of, I think, jumped up about 15%, or he jumped up this year, but not enough to at least be elected. But
Larry Walker?
I think so.
He jumped way up.
Yeah, I was going to say, he had quite a bit of a vault from last year. But,
yeah.
But again, for Barry Bonds, for Roger Clemens, it wasn't anything too noticeable from last year. But right now, it's just interesting that we have the outcry from the non-voters right now of, again, everyone who's following the situation of going, hey, we need to get Clemens in. Hey, Barry Bonds. And I think it was Skip Bayless who came on, I think either today or yesterday, his thoughts of saying, hey, this is the greatest player we've ever seen, greatest hitter. Why he is not a Hall of Famer due to what has happened, hey, that's all. I think he kind of put it at least very interestingly of saying, hey, it was kind of MLB's fault as well, too, to allow this stuff to happen.
It was the baseball era of the time.
Yeah.
The 90s and the 80s and 90s were that
again,
type of...
He was just saying it wasn't just Barry Bonds' fault and the other players. It was also, too, MLB that has to take some of this fault as well, too, to allow it to happen for so long and kind of sweep it under the rug, so to speak. Right now, you have all these non-voters out here, and some voters have come out and said, hey, he was number one on my ballot, and or at least number one and number two with Bonds and Clemens. But it's just interesting. On the outside, there's this big sweeping kind of contingent right now of saying, get these guys in. But why did that not reflect the numbers? So again, who are these voters right now? Who are these, at least, members right now of the Baseball Hall of Fame that are saying, no, I don't believe with the mass contingent. I don't think they deserve it at all right now. Because, again, a lot of the again, they're not the older folks, but, you look who are kind of active on social media the past couple days. Again, it's kind of those big names, those big faces of part of baseball who are saying, yeah, I agree, these two need to get in. But who are the others that are kind of hiding behind of going, no, I don't think he deserves it.
Right. Well, now look at next year's class. Who's leading the way for next year? Derek Jeter.
Oh, he's in. Yeah, there's
unanimous. Another Yankee unanimous.
I would say so. I would say so.
Your top three.
I don't think anyone could say anything bad about Derek Jeter. A guy who is the face of MLB, beloved across not even just baseball, but the entirety of every major sport. I would say, yeah, Derek Jeter has to be a unanimous.
Your top three next year, first year of eligibility. Just your top three that I have here. Derek Jeter.
Yeah.
Bobby Abreu.
No.
And Jason Giambi.
No, Giambi, again, with the steroid stuff, you write him, no. He'll get minuscule votes. He'll probably be there with the Todd Heltons of the world.
440 career home runs.
But again, he was expected to be part of that steroid era, or at least I do believe he got caught once. But no, again, Jason Giambi, even with his numbers, I would say he's a fringe Hall of Famer, but he's going to get hurt like Bonds, like Clemens, like everyone in that steroid era who were kind of accused of it. He's not going in.
Well,
and I think your favorite right now is Derek Jeter, and we'll see. Again, Derek Jeter, should be that unanimous. But what will happen is it going to be that year of? Is Larry Walker going to get that push to get in now? Is Barry Bonds going to get that push? Is Roger Clemens going to get that push enough to kind of join in with them?
And Larry Walker, he will be in his last year.
And I think Larry Walker, again, being in last year, I think he will be a Hall of Famer next year.
Again, Schilling, Clemens, Bonds.
Schilling, that's another one of why he is not.
Well,
it was an interesting article that I read.
20 years in the majors.
Well, supposedly, again, the few articles that I was reading about Kirk Schilling it was more so why he's being kept out of his at least of the Hall of Fame, is more of kind of political beliefs. But that's a whole another argument.
But again, he was 216 and 146 in his career. Clemens was 354 and 184.
Yeah, again, Clemens absolutely a Hall of Famer. I think Kurt Schilling is too.
All right, well, we got to wrap up this discussion. We got basketball to talk about. It's our LCCC Coaches Show coming up after these words here on 1480 KRAE.
This is 1480 KRAE Cheyenne. What you are about to hear is a sports talk radio show unlike any other that has ever before been broadcast in the capital city of Cheyenne, Wyoming, USA. This is Cheyenne, Wyoming's Sports Talk Authority. The Wyoming Cowboys, the Denver Broncos, the Colorado Rockies, and the Denver Nuggets. The show is local, it's regional, and yes, the show is national as well. Wyoming Sports Talk Today is on the air. If they're talking sports on the radio in Cheyenne, this is the place it happens. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
And it's being brought to you by Taco John's of Cheyenne, Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service on Highway 30, Chick-fil-A at the corner of Windmill and Del Range, Kia of Cheyenne on Nation Way, Platte Valley Bank Types 2, the original location on Vanda High, the east side location at the corner of College and Pershing, Medigap Pharmacy on Highway 30, Lennox Auto Body Times 2, the main auto and truck repair center on Dunn Avenue, the Auto Glass and Detail Center over on Pershing Boulevard, First Tier Bank at 1508 Stillwater Avenue, Mondello's Pizzeria directly across the street at 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D in the Greenway Commons. Marv's Plumbing and Heating at 1515 Logan Avenue. Also this hour being brought to you by Laramie County Community College. We get things underway before we bring on our coaches and players as we will tell you the scoreboard. So let's look at the scoreboard, whether it's on the ice or on the hardwood. First we'll go to Nick Peroetti to find out what's going on.
From last night with LCCC, as we'll get into the LCCC Coach Show here in a few short minutes. Starting on the women's side as they defeat Western Wyoming by a final score of 79-68. Right after that, contest wrapped up. The men got into action against the Mustangs of Western Wyoming, and they got a victory as well, too, 97-85. So, again, looking forward to talking to both head coaches here. Coming up here in a few short seconds here on 1480 KRAE. Also, too, NHL, there is no action for tonight, or at least for the next few days. It is the NHL All-Star break out in San Jose, California. So, again, no NHL action for tonight. And, again, coming up on 1480 KRAE, tentative for at least this weekend tomorrow, East versus Central, live at Story Gym. Myself, Chris Polton, again, all tentative right now as we're trying to decide on the schedule. But those games will get underway, again, tentative on that timing with 5:30 with the girls. And 7 o'clock with the boys of East versus Central. It all determines on that JV game beforehand at Story. And this Saturday coming up with LCCC on the road at Gillette, the Lady Pronghorns and Pronghorns of Gillette College. They will play host to LCCC. Those games will get underway. Women up first, 2 o'clock. Men up second after that game wraps up. In tentative about 4 p.m. on Saturday.
On the NBA hardwood, Warriors tonight will go to the Capital One Arena to take on the Wizards in Washington, D.C., Pelicans and the Thunder in the Chesapeake Energy Arena, OKC, Trailblazers and the Suns at the Talking Stick Resort Arena in Phoenix, and it will be the T-Wolves and the Lakers matching up at Staples coming up this evening. Our scoreboard brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
Hi, I'm Alex White, tea master at Pure Leaf. When I make tea, everything I know goes into it. You can't be impatient. When I craft Pure Leaf iced tea, I don't take shortcuts, because I want you to have the same amazing taste of iced tea that I do. So I start with fresh picked tea leaves. Then, after they're delicately dried, I blend and brew them at a lower temperature to draw out their unique aromas. And then I taste and fine-tune the blend for a delicious smooth iced tea. I'd love to have you take a sip right now, but that's one thing we can't do over the radio. But you can experience the same delicious taste of Pure Leaf iced tea anywhere you are. I'm Alex White, Pure Leaf Tea Master. Pure Leaf, our thing is tea.
For almost 60 years, 1480 KRAE has been Cheyenne's home for good times and great oldies. Add to that live play-by-play sports featuring high school football and basketball, along with LCCC men's and women's basketball. Now combo that with KYOY-FM, and you have Cheyenne and the area's only locally owned AM and FM radio stations. But we don't stop there. We also have 2 FM translators which serve the area with programming from both KRAE and KYOY. And that equals a lot of bang for your advertising dollar. Radio yesterday and now today, along with our websites, web streams, and digital ventures makes us your one-stop shop. For more information, information, please call Larry Proetti at 307-637-0301.
Holy cow, what is Bury Jewelers up to now? It's Super Bowl sale time at your favorite jeweler.
Bury's entire inventory reduced 50 to 75%. Doors open at 11 a.m. Super Bowl Sunday, and you have 5 hours to liquidate the store. Every ring, necklace, and watch. Everything must go. Discounts are so deep, Bury's is practically giving away the best jewelry for next to nothing. Bury Jewelers, 2206 Del Range.
Bury Jewelers' famous Super Bowl sale, 11 to 4 Super Bowl Sunday.
Be there. Be there. Got something to say? Then get it off your chest right now. Phone lines are open at 307-514-1071. Make your opinion count and call the show. Wyoming Sports Talk today.
Welcome back to Wyoming Sports Talk today, LCCC Coaches Show time. Lady Golden Eagles first and foremost as we bring them to the spotlight. And again, our program brought to you by Laramie County Community College. We bring on Brian Ortmeier, and again, we've had some good discussions here with your Lady Golden Eagles, especially during this homestand, where they took care of business at home, improved their mark last night to 4-1, but it's not so much defying the odds, because every night you're out there on the floor, you're facing bigger and more veteran teams.
Yeah.
And your team seems to be gelling together, the youth with some of the sophomores that you have.
Yeah, once we hit conference play, we've had some players really step up. We've had some freshmen off the bench that have really started to contribute, whether it's as a starter or somebody coming off the bench. And, you know, we're seeing things that we didn't have in the first half. We've had a couple double-doubles recently where, you know, girls are going out scoring 15 and ripping down 10, 12 rebounds. Our assist number is up. We're getting more steals, and again, we're hitting more threes. So, you know, we're shooting the ball better again. So we're getting good contributions from both freshmen and sophomore. And you're right, we're gelling and playing pretty good basketball.
You have
right
good
now.
ball distribution too. I like this team because it's unselfish.
Yeah, and it's and they take care of the ball, which is a great thing too. I was looking today. I think we're 7th in the country. And if I remember correctly, there's 184 teams in the NJCAA, so we're sitting at 7th out of 184 in terms of ball control and turnovers per game. And then we seem to have found the right formula too. We're top 36 in free throw attempts, and we're making the majority of those. We're one of the top free throw shooting teams in the country. And then same thing in terms of three-point attempts and made three-pointers. We're a top 35, 40 type team in the country, and we're stopping teams from hitting the three. That's the other thing, too. I think we're in the top 10 in terms of our opponent's three-point percentage. So
you need to tell Jay Johnson that next time at Casper.
I know. You know, and that's the thing. We're still sitting there despite how well they shot the ball that day. But, you know, we've got kind of that right formula right now, and like you said, we've got good distribution, good balance, and that's really helped. It's making us tough to defend.
And it's kind of at the perfect time, again, where it's something that we discuss as now late part of January, February, this is where we go away from the rack at this point, where, again, that home cooking kind of disappears for quite some time, where you got to go to the Gillettes of the world. Again, Wednesday up to Powell as well, too, these long-distance road trips. But I think at this point in time, this is coming at probably the best time for your squad of where now you're ready, you're prepared to go to Rock Springs, to Powell, to Gillette, wherever across the state of Wyoming.
Yeah, and, you know, we made some adjustments right out of the break, more so on the offensive end. And that's the main thing, that if we continue to play the way that we have been, push tempo, try to wear the other teams out. And I think that's one difference that we have compared to the end of the season last year. We're getting good contributions from our bench, where last year we kind of shortened our bench. You could see we kind of wore down toward the end of the year, where now we're kind of able to expand that and play 8, 9, 10, you know, get into that bench pretty deep and stay fresh down the stretch. So, and that makes a big difference when you're heading to some of these locations and spending the night in a hotel and being on the road and being on the bus a lot. So, again, we just got to keep consistent message and just keep plugging away.
I don't want this to come off sounding wrong, but is there a fear from the coaching staff, you and Coach Ronaldo, that you could be peaking too soon? Because, again, it's not how you play in January, February. It's what you're doing in March. But then again, too, you look at the late Coach Pat Summitt's team in Tennessee. They're winning all the time. Gino's team at UConn. They win every time they're on the floor. But is that fear there, or do you want your team playing at this level and hopefully, rolling the dice that it stays that way all the way into March?
Yeah, you have to. You've got to, your elite teams are going to keep a persistent level, and they're going to be able to start conference play hot and finish hot and be able to be one of those top teams. So the main thing is that if you do drop a game, you can't drop too low. You have to keep your confidence high, and you have to continue to play the way that you have been. So, again, it goes back to that consistency, and yes, you want to be peaking at the end of the season, but again, you don't want to be sitting there going to the 2 seed, going to Sheridan on the road, or going to, putting yourself in a tough game, against a good opponent on the road in the first round. There is a huge difference that I've noticed the last 2 years. Once you hit that region tournament, you get that first playing game on the road. I mean, we've been in pretty decent environments when we've gone down to Otero 2 years ago and Trinidad last year. It's just a bigger crowd. There's more excitement, and it would be nice to be able to have that at home. So, again, you can try and peak late at the end of the year, but you have to have that consistency and set yourself up for, a good position in the tournament.
Is it fair to at least assume where, again, conversations of what we had back in 2018 about this team, especially the tail end as heading into the Christmas break, where your team a little timid on the offensive side, a little afraid to shoot the ball at points. Again, kind of what we saw at the last year of last year's team. But, again, last night putting up 79 points, again, above your season average.
Yep.
Players are at least being willing to shoot that at least shot now on the court. Is it something that we're seeing right now? Is the offense kind of on that consistent level for you, or at least you're kind of happy that we're past that timid part of 2018?
Yeah, I think we're well past that. There's times too I'd love to see us attack the rim a little more. Even last night, kind of in the first half, I kind of wish we would have attacked it more. But it's, again, if you got the open shot, you got to let it fly. I think a good comparison there for your question is Carly. She hadn't hit a 3 in a while, and she steps up last night, has 2 open looks, and knocks down 2 of them there in the first half. And and that's how you got to play. You can't be afraid to put the ball up and shoot, and that's the message that we have right now. We want that balance. You got to be able to attack the rim, but if they're going to pack it in, you got to be able to get your feet set and hit the shot.
When you were originally hired on as the coach of the Lady Golden Eagles, again, when we brought the basketball program back, not knowing what your time frame is, because, again, coaches, come and go, and again, maybe the door opens for you one day, we don't know. But here we are in your 3rd season, and it's been climbing up the stairs, and now, again, from season 1 to season 2 to season 3, you're seeing that marked improvement in the program. Is that the opportunity for you to get out now and get that good high school player to come in and come up here to Cheyenne, or what's attributing to the success of the program right now?
I think that we're playing complete basketball. We've gotten to that point where we have a good balanced attack, where we don't have to really lean on 1 or 2 players. We're more consistent on the offensive end, and it's kind of funny you mentioned that. I was walking out of the gym, talking to one of the people that were at the game, and they said, I remember, that first year when it was tough for you guys to break 40 points some nights, and so we've come a long ways in terms of just the development piece. Finding the right fits, and then, our girls are doing a great job of executing what we're doing. So, again, the message has got to be to finish. We got to make sure that we finish strong here and, put ourselves, like I said, in a good position for March.
I'm surprised, or at least that was the good test. You passed the test. I'm surprised you didn't just go, hey, the success is on my head, on my shoulders, pat yourself on the back. No, I'm just playing around with you. As, again, continuing the success, Coach, as, again, carrying off of this win streak that we've developed here so far, again, at home at the RAC, but now it goes on the road. Up to Glen with the Lady Pronghorns, a team that you got a chance to see, part of that LCCC Classic, about a couple weeks ago here in town, but did not face against them. But what do we know about the Lady Pronghorns?
They recently they had a good run to start the conference slate. They had been playing pretty good basketball. Had a chance to watch a lot of their game against Sheridan, which again was played on Wednesday night. And it was a lot of zone. Gillette ran their traditional matchup 2-3 zone that they like to run. And then Sheridan on the flip side also zoned them as well. So Basically, it came down to a contest of who's going to outshoot the other team. And sure enough, Sheridan ended up getting them, I think, by about 10 points. So they've got some bigs inside. Again, if we can kind of match up and keep them off the boards and force Gillette to take some tough shots, we'll put ourselves in a really good position.
Veteran coach up there with the Lady Pronghorns. He's been through the wars for many, many years.
Mm-hmm.
As I remember back in November when they were down at the rack, they tried to beat you inside. They were not much. Again, that's November, and here we are, January. They might be better from the outside, but they were a lot stronger inside than they were out.
Yeah, and to kind of add to that, they're shooting at about 25-26% from three. And again, a lot of their players, post guards, are roughly shooting it somewhere between 40 to 60% from the free throw line. So again, it's not something that they necessarily like to do. They don't like to put up a ton of three-pointers. So you're right. They're going to try and beat you inside. They're going to try and pound it into their bigs. I know they've got a girl who's 6'2". They've got the cut-right girl from up there in Gillette, too. That's, she presents a lot of problems with her ability to drive to the basket and get there and finish. And so we're going to have to make sure that we limit their touches and really try to keep them off the boards.
Overconfidence. And again, 4-1 in conference right now, and trying to keep the ladies even keeled. Hey, it's great that we won all these games at home. Now, let's say the litmus test, Gillette, then you go up to Powell. How do you keep them grounded?
That's always the tricky thing. Again, I think it's just really trying to focus in on one game at a time. Last year at times, I think we talked a little bit too much about what's coming up ahead with 5-6 games left in the season instead of really focusing on that next one. And for our girls, again, they know where they're at in the standings, but it's really, one at a time. We've got to take care of Gillette first, and then from there we move on to the next one. So, we played enough road trips and had enough long trips that first semester. Our girls should be able to handle it at this point.
Ryan, I want to thank you so much.
I was going to say
one more thing.
Final thought. It's
Sure.
at least to highlight one player, at least for your team, something that, again, player that came off your bench now starting for you, that'd be one Haley Anderson, of what she's kind of at least contribute to this team. Again, I do believe last night a 20-point effort. She's been doing this kind of consistently right now. Again, that key word of consistent, but just talk about the transition for Haley Anderson of what we saw earlier in 2018 to where she is playing right now for your team.
Yeah, she had a really nice stretch off the bench coming into Christmas. She was shooting the ball well, got back at a Christmas break, had a good week and a half of practice, and again, we were looking at some film on some different things offensively, and I'd watched the Oregon women, who I think at the time were ranked first in scoring in the country. So we kind of took some of their offensive concepts and tried to apply it to the different girls that we had, and I felt like it fit better than what we were doing at the time. So over that week and a half, we kind of worked her in there to the starting lineup. She fit really well and flowed well with Gabby and Carly in terms of having kind of three attacking guards to start the game. And, and again, she shoots it with confidence and has done a really nice job for us.
Brian Ortmeier joined us on our first half of our Lady Golden Eagles Coaches Show. Again, our LCCC Coaches Show brought to you by Laramie County Community College. Back in a bit.
There's a place where possibilities are boundless, where curiosity runs rampant, where exploration becomes opportunity. With Laramie County Community College, you can discover the best version of yourself. It's time to take on new challenges, to enrich your life, and to create the future you deserve. Your story unfolds. Laramie County Community College. Apply today. Visit lccc.wy.edu/yourstory.
Come away with more than you expect with the new 2019 Kia Sorento. I'm AJ Miller for Kia of Cheyenne, and with Kia Sorento, you could leave the competition in the dust with a long list of standard features that are usually optional in more expensive rivals. Some available features include lane keeping assist, wireless charging, 8-speed automatic transmission, and 3-row 7-person seating. Come in today and see all that you can get for the money at Kia of Cheyenne. Call 775-0123 or go to kiaofcheyenne.com and we'll make it easy.
Cheyenne's oldest coin dealer and supplier, The Coin Shop, is proud to serve the community since 1982. Trade or sell your gold, silver, and other precious metals. Visit with David and the knowledgeable staff for a fair and honest assessment of your valuables. Located at 510 West Lincoln Way. Call them today at 778-7196 to schedule your personal consultation.
Cowgirl fans, Cowgirl basketball returns to the Arena Auditorium on Saturday, January 26th to take on Boise State. The start time has changed from the original schedule and will now tip off at 1 p.m. Single game tickets are on sale now, or you can pick any 4+ games this season and save with a Cowgirl basketball mini plan. Get your tickets today at GoWIO.com or call 307-766-7220. We'll see you in the Arena Auditorium on January 26th as the Cowgirls take on Boise State.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For today, it'll be mostly sunny with highs around 24 and winds out of the west at 10 to 15. For tonight, it'll be mostly cloudy with lows around 18 and winds out of the west at 10 to 20 miles per hour. On Friday, it'll be mostly sunny with highs around 35. And on Friday night, it'll be mostly cloudy with lows around 20.
Here the season never ends. From Wyoming sports to the Broncos in Denver. From Rockies baseball to talking hoops with Nuggets basketball. Local, regional, and national. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, right here on AM 1480 KRAE.
We're back on Wyoming Sports Talk Today. It is our pleasure, and we get to introduce you to one of the Lady Golden Eagles, Garland, Texas, 5'7", Ariel Stephenson. Ariel, real quick, thank you for joining us, and tell us where Garland, Texas is located roughly around.
Well, it's in the city of Dallas County, so, I basically say I'm from Dallas, Texas, but it's a small city towards the area of
It's a suburb of Dallas.
Basically,
yeah. So we were talking about, and matter of fact, Nick mentioned about Haley coming off the bench and now inserting herself into the starting role. You have been picking up a lot of minutes. Matter of fact, I started watching you very closely when we were at that McCook tournament. You started getting more playing time in. Coach has been throwing you in a lot more minutes right now. Tell us a little bit, how tough is it? Because I'm sure when you were in high school, you were a starter. Now you have to take that role of coming off the bench. So how do you prepare yourself getting ready when Coach says, okay, you need to go in for whoever?
Well, I always try to keep the energy on the bench because, I always try to stay, interacted into the game. I want to make sure that the players also want me to be a team player on and off the bench. So when he puts me in, he gives me a role to play, and I always be blessed with the minutes that I get. So I go out there and I just give my all and show him, I can help the team get this win. So
now, Jakia from Texas, also Robbie from Texas as well, from Crowley, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Did you guys ever play against each other, or did you know of each other before coming to LCCC?
Well, me and Robbie met within family members. My stepdad and her dad works together, so I knew of her committing to Laramie. And also, I played against Jakia Wells. She went to Mesquite. So I played against her in a tournament within district areas. So I played against her like 3 or 4 times.
So as you came up to Cheyenne, it was like, okay, I'm not here by myself. At least I've got some friends.
Somebody I can relate to within
friends,
the area.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Talk about the difference, though, again, being down there in Texas, again, elevation-wise, not as extreme as here in Cheyenne, Wyoming, but was that a factor, at least the first kind of practices, being here, playing for LCCC? Did you notice that elevation?
Yes, when I first went on my recruiting trip up here and I tried out, playing against Carly and Gabby in scrimmages, my lungs were so tight, I was about to pass out. I had to hydrate, and, I talked to Coach about it, and my parents, they said it's going to take a week or 2 to get, used to it. So it is a very big difference between being down south and coming all the way up here.
Especially in the Texas area, good basketball down there, and, by bringing you and Jakia and Robbie up here, that just adds to making LCCC a better basketball program. We were talking about you're 4-1 now in the conference, 13-7 overall, if I'm not mistaken. Are you feeling pretty good about this team moving in an upward direction?
I'm feeling very confident. We have all the components to go far into the regions and everything. Our energy, aggressiveness, our shooting, as Coach mentioned, Carly, everybody doing very good with their shooting. We're working on being very sufficient in practice. So, I feel very confident in us going far. And within our team and our coaches, Coach R and Coach O helping us throughout the way, we're going to do very good.
Is there any noticeable difference, again, as he talked about with, again, trying to premier at least sports down there in Texas, especially on the basketball high school ranks as well, but is there any kind of noticeable difference now translating from high school to at least JUCO ranks of playing?
Yes, my high school, we was very fundamental, but then at times we would get kind of rowdy. Up here is very fundamental. Then down in Texas, it's just very kind of AAU ball playing wise in Texas. It's very competitive, aggressiveness. It's all about, scoring. Up here, you have to have different aspects. You have to do good on defense, your assist, turnover ratio, all that kind of impacts your resume basically as your stats. So up here is very different, and I had to learn how to adapt to that as far as focusing on other components. When I wasn't scoring, I thought that's what it was all about, but coach told me, you're doing good on the rebound and offensive rebounds, defensive rebounds, you're doing good, put other factors into the team. So.
And I apologize we didn't ask this question right out of the box. What are you majoring in?
I'm majoring in exercise science, so I'm trying to get my bachelor's in kinesiology and become a personal trainer and a sports physiologist.
One of the nice things here playing at LCCC, and again, hopefully we have you here for 2 years, and again, we know 45 miles to the west is a 4-year institution that maybe you have that opportunity to transfer. Do you have those thoughts of going on after LCCC? I would assume you're going to get your AA here and then try to get your bachelor's at a 4-year school, or do you have a school in Texas that you want to go to?
Well, I chose this college mainly because I wanted to try something different. I've been down south basically all my life, so having this opportunity and blessed to even play and continue my passion for basketball is a blessing. So, if I have that opportunity to further my basketball career into a D1 as far as UW or just anywhere, then I would take the best opportunity that's for my degree and also for my sports-wise. So I'm mainly, focused on my academics. Academics comes first. So, just wherever God takes me.
Is it a struggle as well, kind of comparing the two again with high school and JUCO ranks, but making that transition? Is it tougher to kind of juggle school with kind of playing in college compared to high school?
Yes, very, because you have very expectations. In high school, it's kind of, the coach kind of wings it here and there, but, you have to go through your athletic director and everything as far as the GPA that you have to have. So balancing my organization, studying skills, managing my sleep and eating healthy, all that kind of impacts my playing time and as far as what I do out there on the court. So it is very kind of being a freshman in college too, adapting.
Now, something we don't ask, at least the ladies a whole lot, but I'll ask you, Ariel, again, down there in Garland, Texas, nearby, you got the Dallas Mavericks. Down south, you have the San Antonio Spurs. Are you an NBA fan? Do you keep up with the team?
Yes, I watch basketball 24/7, college basketball, NBA, professional. I'm really a Russell Westbrook fan. I'm an OKC fan. I'm not too fond of the Mavericks, but I've been to a couple of games. But yes, it's very competitive down there.
One last thing for me, and one of the things that we have done since we're carrying all of the games this year, we get to bring it to the folks, the relatives at home. So I'm just wondering if your relatives had the opportunity to see you on the computer. What is it, YouTube?
YouTube,
and Periscope
yeah.
via Twitter. So they had a chance to say, hey, we saw you play the other night.
I immediately gave them the link once Coach told us about it. They watch every game. At least one of my family members do. And then, I get messages after the game saying what I can work on, what did I do. So I always have that support down home, which is very good to me.
Awesome. Ariel, thank you so much,
No
and
problem.
we are looking forward to seeing you up in the Razor City. They call it Gillette. So we'll see you on Saturday afternoon as hopefully we'll bring home another win against the Lady Pronghorns.
Thank you for
again.
having me.
Ariel Stephenson joined us here on Wyoming Sports Talk today, our LCCC Coaches Show, and we are going to take a timeout. It's men's action on the way with head coach Jason Ficca. Again, our program brought to you by Laramie County Community College.
At Medicap Pharmacy, we concentrate on nothing but your medications and your health. Each location is a locally owned full-service neighborhood pharmacy. We won't make you walk through aisles and aisles of stuff or wait in a long line. Instead, we'll always make time for you by listening, answering your questions, and explaining your prescriptions.
Medicap Pharmacy. We'll always make time for you.
Medicap Pharmacy, 1947 Neurological is now offering cutting-edge robotic surgery. So call Cheyenne Neurological at 635-4131 for compassionate, expert urinary care. That's 635-4131.
Check out the huge savings this week at Town & Country Supermarket Liquors. Here are just a few of the terrific weekly specials. How about these super radio buys heard only right here? Jack Daniel's Old No. 7 Black, 1.75 liter bottle, $34.95. Souza Hornitas Silver Tequila, 1.75 liter bottle, $37.99. And Pabst Blue Ribbon Beer, 24-pack, 12-ounce cans, $16.49. Town & Country Supermarket Liquors on the South Greeley Highway, Cheyenne's low-price leader. With the new year here, the fun and excitement gets even better at Wyoming Downs with 2 Cheyenne locations in the Cheyenne Plaza and at the Outlaw Saloon on the South Greeley Highway. You'll find new simulcasting games, including All Canvas Jackpot, Cowboy Wilds, Jackpot Blaze, Splendor of the Sphinx, and a whole bunch more. Remember to get your player's card to enjoy triple points on Sundays, along with double points on Mondays, and also on Fridays and Saturdays, it's Mystery Moolah. So stop by today and visit Wyoming Downs in the Cheyenne Plaza at 3617 East Linkaway and at the Outlaw Saloon at 312 South Greeley Highway. For more information, go to wydowns.com.
Tired of lazy and predictable sports talk radio? We know you are. This is Cheyenne's new sports radio home. It's Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's right here on AM 1480.
Welcome back to Wyoming Sports Talk Today, LCCC Coaches Show. We get to talk to LCCC Golden Eagles head coach Jason Ficca, picking up a big win last night as they defeat Western Wyoming. And, Coach, thanks for joining us today on the program. I know you are, correct me if I'm wrong, you're down in the Mile High City watching little hoops down there?
Yeah, we are. We're on our way there tonight, so it's a light day for us practice-wise, and it's a heavy day for us in the classroom, so that kind of makes it a light day for us in the practice. So we figure it was a good day to get out.
Is this kind of the recruiting almost goes all year round for you, but is this a good shot at doing some recruiting, or are there certain times where there's no touch on a player?
We can pretty much work year round at it, but obviously we're right in the height of the high school season too, so it's the right time for us to get out when we can, but certainly we're working on recruiting year round.
For, at least, again, having that opportunity to go down and recruit again, going down to Denver, Colorado, where, again, you got a lot of prospects that are on your team from that metro area, but let's focus, though, about last night's game against Western Wyoming, seeing the Mustangs, 97-85 victory in favor of your Golden Eagles. You finally got back on the winning track after, again, a few kind of tough goes at it there in the rack. Tyrese Potoma, guy was unconscious there in the first half, again, from behind the arc. Again, 100% perfect at half. Again, had a little bit of, at least a few difficulties, though, in the second half, but still a phenomenal effort by Tyrese Potoma. But just give us your thoughts, though, cumulatively about last night's win.
Well, as I was driving here earlier, I thought, that kind of reminded me of the performance we had last year at Northeastern Colorado, where we were just couldn't really do anything wrong on either end of the court, and that's how that was. That was as good a half in the first half as certainly as that one was last year, and that's for a half performance. That's just right up there in the top 2 or 3 that we've had in almost 12 years here. So it was really good, and Tyrese set the tone, making those shots early, but then other guys knocked them in too. Courtney Dean, Mateo Zovko, Stefan Manzi knocked one in. Hayden Coe. I think we had 5 guys hit a 3 in the first half, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm not sure if we've had that in a long time. 5 different guys hit a 3 and a half.
Coach, let's talk about the return of Kyle Cabs. And again, Kyle at 6'6", freshman from the Denver, Colorado area, by the way. Again, he was kind of gimping around since that injury at Trinidad State, and he tried a couple times to come back, and it just got progressively, or let's just say it was just a a pain in the rear for him, and he couldn't play. But last night he went out there and he played uninhibited and, shook a little ring rust off. But I think he had to be a little bit pleased with his play on the floor.
Yeah, he was really good. And watching the video today of the game, his value in that game and moving forward, it just can't be understated. There was several times his first two field goals were layups, and then in both occasions he turned around and got back and made the defensive play on the other end. I mean, his inline he's a great 200-meter sprinter, and when he gets up and moves, he can really cover some ground. And just the way he defended and ran the floor, it really I think uplifted our team. Not only the way he played, but just having an extra body to rotate in there gave some guys some rest, and so they had fresher legs. I thought Courtney Dean had fresher legs, and Mateo Zocco had fresher legs, and I think that was all in part due to Kyle's presence and being able to rotate players, and then guys rising up to his level of activity as well.
We talk about the wide bodies on the other teams that we've been facing, but I'm gonna pick on Mateo, and then I'm gonna even throw a Courtney Dean in the mold when he's 100% healthy, and even Kyle. These guys are not afraid to go inside and go up against those big bodies. These guys, matter of fact, Mateo, really upper body wise, he's a pretty strong kid. These guys are, they like to get in there, and whether they toss it up from about 7-8 feet or go all the way to the bucket, you got to be impressed with the force that these guys bring to the inside.
No, I like the way all those guys play and their style of play, attacking the rim. Mateo's got the most developed body of those three guys you talked about, Courtney and Kyle and Mateo. But that gives Courtney and Kyle something to work on in the spring and the summer. I think they both see it now that they've got to do some great things with their body here in the off season especially. But the way they play, the aggression with which those guys attack the rim, and Courtney is now starting to stroke the jumper a little bit. Kyle needs to, that's the other thing Kyle needs to develop here in the off season is a consistent jump shot. If we were watching video today, Dwayne and I, and we just both said, boy, if Kyle had a consistent jump shot, he'd be tough player. He'd be really, really good. So that's the biggest hole for him in his game. But right now he was a big boost to us last night.
And you could certainly see it, especially there in that first half. Again, a near perfect almost first half for LCCC, especially, again, led by Tyrese Patoma, again, led 60-33 at halftime. Now, getting into the second half of that contest, it seemed like it was kind of reminiscent of what games in the past, or at least kind of recent, against Sheridan, a few at least against Central Wyoming, where that second half kind of becomes an issue for LCCC, and it almost had that similar feeling in that contest last night against Western Wyoming, where they kind of went on a bit of a charge. We had difficulty on the offensive side, but did you have that feeling as well, too, at least watching that second half of, oh no, here we go again?
I didn't ever feel like they had a really, they whittled it down the score, but I think they got it to 12, but there was under 3 minutes left. Time and score, I didn't think we were ever really in serious jeopardy of losing the game. I thought Western Wyoming did a good job of kind of making the second half, making it ugly, and, there was a lot of fouls called, a lot of trips to the free throw line. And we fell into it a little bit. We did some tit for tat. You foul me, I foul you, which is unfortunate. But overall, I thought it was a good win. And Western Wyoming did a good job making a charge, which I think that's the halftime speech. Hey guys, we got nothing left to lose here. You just put your head down and go at them and be aggressive with your hands and see what you can get away with, see if you can cause a couple turnovers and things like that. And overall, we didn't turn the ball over excessively. We didn't shoot the ball that great, but Other than that, it was a solid overall performance. So I'm not disappointed with the second half. Other than that, we fell into that a little bit. We fell into making the game ugly.
Coach, we had this discussion last year with your squad, and I know you pretty much stayed man on man throughout the course of the season. This year, you've done a little man, and you've dropped into the 2-3. Which defense right now is the one that you are seeing as most successful for the guys?
I think we're going to stay pretty. The terminology we're using is zone heavy. Maybe 2/3 of a game, which is probably where we were at. Maybe 2/3 or 3/4 of the game. The whole first half last night we were in zone, and then we probably played about 50-50 zone and man in the second half. So right now it's looking like the zone. We made an adjustment going into this game with the zone. We shifted everything up higher, and we saw that in scouting Western Wyoming. We were watching one of their games against Eastern Utah, and that's where Eastern Utah was setting up their zone, and we thought that's what we need to be doing. So we worked on it for a day, and the guys put it into the game, and I thought it was really effective. It made a huge difference in the effectiveness of our zone by having our guards set up almost to the midcourt line or somewhere around, between the circles, and then our front line setting up basically toes on the free throw line. I thought it got them running their offense out really high and gave us so much more time to make the rotations we had to make. And I thought it was a big factor in that first half.
David Applegren last night had an off night shooting, which happens, but again, he still did some good things on the defensive side. What did you see as you had a chance to look at it? Was David just trying to rush things last night? I mean, he drew a crowd every time he had the basketball in his hand.
Yeah, I think I think sometimes when David gets against, he had at least 6 inches of height on, I think, about everybody that guarded him. And sometimes, when he sees somebody, so he wants to get it up quick. Like, okay, I'm just going to go quick with this because this guy's smaller than me. He can't block it, which it wasn't going in that well for him. I didn't realize. I think he went 1 for 7 or 1 for 8. I didn't realize that he only made one field goal, and it was a dunk. I thought he was scoring more than that. He went to the free throw line a few times. So overall, we do a grade sheet on the offensive or on the performance of our guys, and he graded out very well with his efficiency rating when you factor in the free throws and the block shots. So he even not scoring, he was a major factor in the game, which is a very nice thing to have on your team. Someone who can make that big of an impact without scoring the basketball much.
Coach, going to put you on hold here real quick. We got to pay some bills, and then we'll come back and we'll get ready to wrap things up with you here on our LCCC Coaches Show. We're talking with Jason Ficca, head coach of the Golden Eagles, and our LCCC Coaches Show brought to you by Laramie County Community College. Back in a bit.
There's a place where possibilities are boundless, where curiosity runs rampant, where exploration becomes opportunity.
All the play-by-play calls of East, Central, and South football and basketball. You'll hear the conference action along with the postseason, and during the basketball season, 1480 KRAE features both boys and girls games. Catch all the exciting calls on AM 1480 KRAE, also streaming the games worldwide on the web at 1480KRAE.com.
Capital Lumber is number one in Cheyenne. Are you listening? We're all the lumber store you'll ever need.
For over 50 years, Capital Lumber Company has offered a full line of hardware and lumber selections. Plenty of materials, even for the do-it-yourselfer. So talk with one of the many experts today at Capital Lumber Company. Capital Lumber Company is the best in the region, and they are your true value hardware store. Lumber One in Cheyenne. Capital Lumber Company at 1222 Dunn Avenue.
When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For today, it'll be mostly sunny with highs around 24 and winds out of the west at 10 to 15. For tonight, it'll be mostly cloudy with lows around 18 and winds out of the west at 10 to 20 miles per hour. On Friday, it'll be mostly sunny with highs around 35. And on Friday night, it'll be mostly cloudy with lows around 20.
When it comes to sports talk in Cheyenne, it's a whole new ballgame. Let's play ball! You're listening to Wyoming Sports Talk today, and it's only here on AM 1480 KRAE.
We are talking with LCCC head coach Jason Ficca. We're going to move on to our next opponent, which as we play them one at a time, and it's never an easy afternoon in Region 9 North play as we move on from Western Wyoming to take on the Gillette Pronghorns. And again, Pronghorns had Sheridan College last night. This is a squad that's, from what I'm looking at and looking at the stats, a pretty athletic bunch that you're going to be facing here on Saturday.
Yeah, they have some really effective scores. I think one kid had 38 for them last night. I started looking at them statistically a little bit today. I haven't watched video yet. It's odd to see Gillette at the bottom of the standings. They're usually not only at the top of the standings, somewhere in the top 20 at this time of the year. I think they have a roster literally full of all freshmen. So they're similar to us in that regard. They're undergoing some growing pains with freshmen, but talented. I've seen them a little on video, scouting other opponents, and then seeing some statistics. Looks like they can score definitely. So it'll be a challenge for us to drive up there. We'll drive up in the morning, play that afternoon. That's challenging.
Do you worry, especially where you talk about Gillette, seeing them down there in the at least bottom with Region 9 North, but is that a game or a team you worry about, or at least try to convince your players of saying, hey, let's not make it that trap game, so to speak. Let's respect them even though they are kind of well below us?
Yeah, I don't think I will have any trouble getting our guys to respect them. We're not in that position, to overlook anybody, and I don't think our guys will do that. Definitely not. There's a lot of talent there. It will be easy for our guys to see when we show them video that there's talent, that we got to go in there and do good work. And me, I'm certainly not overlooking them. Gillette is I've not beaten Gillette. So we haven't played them in a few years here, but I want to say as a head coach I'm 0-6 or 0-7 or something like that against Gillette. So I'm not overlooking them at all. That's for certain.
As we check into the conference matchup tomorrow, 2-3, and again, what you've told me in the past, got a whole home court. Unfortunately, we had a couple of setbacks, but here's one of those games on the road that, again, I hate to use the word must, but these are the point games that you got to have.
Yeah, we've got to go on the road and earn that point back that we lost in those two games at home, and this is we're not going to get a whole lot better opportunity. So it's a very important win, and I think our guys in the right frame of mind. We met earlier today, and they understand the opportunity. We talked about the opportunity we have, and I expect we'll be mentally ready. It's kind of how can we handle the physical, getting off the bus and playing. We've got some of our guys don't travel well. David Applegren, a big, tall guy like that, folded up in a bus for a few hours. It's hard for him to get off the bus and be ready to go in basically the 90 minutes or so that we have once we get off the bus. So we got to really really be mentally strong and hope that the physical comes along with us.
And kind of going off of that, Coach, kind of almost a tongue-in-cheek question here, but again, as you talk with David Applegren, he has a little difficult time at least transitioning off the bus or dealing with those long road trips, again, being folded up, again, a 7-footer in those tight little charter buses. But, I mean, how do you prepare your players then? Because coming up here, obviously this weekend, next week the long trip up to Powell to see Northwest. Again, February is loaded with a lot of these long road trips across the great state of Wyoming. I mean, is there any way or any preparation to get these guys kind of focused or at least get them away from that road trip kind of lifestyle?
A lot of that falls on Megan, our trainer. She, and David's really good at doing, cold tub work and rolling out, and stretching out. He's really good about that. So some of this, being physically ready to go stuff falls on David to continue his routines, and Megan always has good advice for these guys as far as recovery and things to eat and things to drink. So I leave those aspects up to those guys, those people, and I focus on the tactical, the motivational, and I'm no expert at being the physical ready part. So it's a team effort. Getting these guys ready to play is a team effort, and I think we have a good team working on it.
One thing you said, Coach, about the mental preparation, and again, for a couple of games, your 7 players, and especially your starting 5, knowing that they were going to have to log a lot of minutes, and these guys like to play basketball. They wouldn't be at LCCC if they didn't like playing basketball, but 40 minutes is a grind, wear and tear, and they're facing all these up and down type teams. But just knowing that Kyle and Courtney were going to be back last night, I would venture to say that team last night, going on the floor and just doing pregame warm-ups, had to be a lot more relaxed than the last couple of games.
Yeah, I think that was a huge factor in the way we came out, the way we played. That hey, there's some backup. We talked about it playing Sheridan last weekend. That hey, they have margin for error. They have guys that hey, if I'm not on tonight, we have more players that can be on. Well, last week or two, and really going back to Kyle's injury, we haven't had a lot of margin for error. Everybody that played had to be razor sharp and at the top of their game, and Kyle getting healthy and Courtney getting over his illness, I think it gave everybody the knowledge that hey, if I'm not getting it done, there's somebody else that can go, and I'll get some rest, and it was huge. It was the biggest factor, I think, in that first half performance was the health of our team.
So, again, we go back to numerous conversations that we've had about, hey, this team's going to have to, I worry about February leading into March. This is where the team needs to be at its best. I would still say, obviously, and I think you'll agree with me, we're still in the growing portion of this program, right?
Yeah. There's still some. Yeah, we're not a finished product, I don't think. But realistically, in the last 3 games, we've won one. We've won one of them. We played 4 good halves. 4 halves is pretty good, and only gotten 1 win out of it. So I think I really believe with the health factor coming back and a little bit more depth, I think we can get some consistency of play out of some players, and we're poised to make a little bit of run here.
All right, Coach. Well, we want to thank you so much for joining us on our Coaches Show. We are looking forward to catching up with you Saturday afternoon, and we will talk to you in the Razor City.
Appreciate it, guys. Thanks.
All right, thank you so much. Jason Ficca joining us here on 1480 KRAE. We will keep it here to remind you, since it is Thursday, And again, we haven't had the chance last night. I don't know. We did not have our Golden Age rated theaters.
Because again, we got done about 9:30. So again, what the schedule for Golden Age, especially during this kind of late part of January, February, and even to a little bit of March, pretty much for Golden Age Radio will just be Monday, Tuesday, and Thursdays. Again, with Wednesday being dedicated to with JUCO basketball here on 1480 KRAE. So anticipate that, which will be tonight, 8 until 10. Again, 2 Sherlock Holmes programs, followed by 2 suspense theater programs. Again, you can find all that information on our website, 1480krae.com/golden, if you want to know what programs are upcoming for that week.
And tomorrow it will be basketball ×2. So earlier, Nick Proetti made a comment of how the games will go. We'll go with a tentative plan because right now we're waiting on a certain piece of equipment. And again, we'll let you go with what you mentioned earlier for East Central coming up tomorrow at Story Gym. Tentative
Schedule. So again, it will be myself and Chris Polton live at Story Gym for East versus Central. Again, battle of the crosstown rivals. As girls will be up first, 5:30. Tentative schedule, and boys will follow up at 7 o'clock. They're live on Story Gym again with having limited equipment. What will happen is it will, at tentative wise, will not be broadcast over radio, at least. So no 1480 AM 101.1 or 1480kradio.com. Instead, it will be on the visual side of Periscope and the 1480 KRAE YouTube channel, which will give the opportunity for you to head on up to Gillette with the women, or at least, for LCCC for both women and men, since they have to leave late tomorrow night, at least before the tip-off of Central versus East. So what would happen is you would have to go up there to Gillette so we can get coverage of all 4 games coming up this weekend. But for the Gillette games, again, at least tentative schedule, that will be on air, but no visual side with that, because again, I will not be able to make it.
Well, we're trying to pull a rabbit out of our hat because one of our units got blasted during Super Day, thanks to the city of Cheyenne and their great electrical equipment. So our engineer has been working feverishly on it, and if he can pull the rabbit out of his hat by tomorrow, we might have a different story for you. But tentatively, that's what we're going to do right now. So you'll get to see the visual of East Central coming up on Friday, and you'll have audio with me live from Gillette with pronghorns and Lady Pronghorns action. Lady Pronghorns first.
But for any updates, keep tuned to our social media sites, whether it's on Facebook for 1480 KRAE, also to Wyoming Sports Talk Today on Facebook. Just simply search for both of those. And again, give us a like and a follow on both of those Facebook pages, or either on Twitter at Nick Wyo Sports. Again, all of our social media sites. I will keep you posted and updated as soon as possible, as soon as we know what will be at least the schedule coming up this weekend. Again, we will cover all 4 games coming up. At least we will try to this weekend, again, with high school ranks tomorrow night and LCCC men's and women's basketball on Saturday afternoon.
So with that all being said, we wrap up the program with On This Date in History. We go back to Nick Proetti. Let's find out what he has over there.
January 24th, we'll go back to the year 1982 as we're at the top of the hour. It was Super Bowl time for this team in the Pontiac Silverdome. How about San Francisco 49ers, who defeat the Cincinnati Bengals 26-21? MVP of that game was one Joe Montana of the 49ers. So that's it.
Oh, you don't need me to tell you what happened in 1982.
Well, we're at the top of the hour, so
right.
we need to get back to our programming.